Namo Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajagacharya Ashtattar Satasi Srimad His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananta Koti Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda Ki Jai. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, I hope all you are doing well. Today we'll be reading from Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Leela chapter 4, text 61. Yesterday we have closed till text 60. Today we'll be starting from text 61. If you have not listened our previous reading session, please check out from our Chaitanya Charitamrita playlist. So before we begin today, let's pray first. Let's do invocation prayer first. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Narayanam Namaskritam Naranchaivo Narattamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tatam Jayamudira जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद नमो महावदन्नाय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरीतिषे नमः हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय हरये परमात्मने प्रणतक्लेशनाशाय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. So let's begin text 61. Yesterday we closed হ্লাদিনী করায় কৃষ্ণে আনন্দ আস্বাদন হ্লাদিনী দ্বারা করে ভক্তের পোষণ হ্লাদিনী দ্বারা করে ভক্তের পোষণ. The Hladini energy gives Krishna's pleasure and nourishes his devotee. Now today we'll be starting from text 61. Satchidananda Purno Krishner Sarup. Satchidananda Purno Krishner Sarup এক একই ছিশক্তি তাঁর ধরে তিন রূপ. সচ্চিদানন্দ পূর্ণ কৃষ্ণের স্বরূপ একই ছিশক্তি তাঁর ধরে তিন রূপ. সচ্চিদানন্দ ইটার্নিটি নলেজ এন্ড ব্লিস. পূর্ণ ফুল কৃষ্ণের অব লর্ড কৃষ্ণ স্বরূপ own form एक ही one चित शक्ति spiritual energy तारे of him dar धरे manifest तीन रूप form. Lord Krishna's body is eternal, Sat, full of knowledge, Chit, full of bliss, Ananda, and his one spiritual energy manifests three forms. Lord Krishna's body has eternal, Sat means eternal, full of knowledge means Chit, and Ananda, full of bliss. His one spiritual energy manifests three forms. Anandangse Hladini, সদংশে সন্ধিনী অ্যান্ড চিদংশে সম্বিত যারে জ্ঞান করি মানি. আনন্দাংশে হ্লাদিনী স্বদংশে সন্ধিনী চিদংশে সম্বিত যারে জ্ঞান করি মানি. আনন্দাংশে in the bliss portion, hladini the pleasure potency, sadamse in the eternal portion, sandhini the existence expanding energy, chidamse in the cognizant portion, shambit the full energy of knowledge, yare which jnana kori as knowledge, mani I accept. Ladini is his aspect of bliss. Ladini is his aspect of bliss. Sandhini of eternal existence and Sambit of cognizance, which is also accepted as knowledge. Ladini is his aspect of bliss. Sandhini of eternal existence and Sambit of cognizance, which is also accepted as knowledge. Purport. In his thesis Bhagavad Sandarbha 103, Srila Jiva Goswami explained the potency of the Lord as follows. The transcendental potency of the Supreme Personality Godhead by which he maintained his existence is called Sandhini. The transcendental potency by which he know himself and cause other to know him is called Sambit. The transcendental potency by which the process transcendental bliss and cause his devotee to have bliss is called Ladini. In his thesis Bhagavad Sandarbha, Srila Jiva Goswami explained the potency of the Lord as follows. The transcendental potency of the Supreme Personality Godhead by which he maintained his existence is called Sandhini. The transcendental potency by which he know himself and cause other to know is called Sambit. And the transcendental potency by which he processed transcendental bliss and caused his devotee to have bliss is called Vladini. The total exhibition of this potency is called Vishuddha Sattva, and his platform of the spiritual variegatedness is displayed even in the material world when the Lord appear here. The pastime and manifestation of the Lord in the material world are therefore not at all material. They belong to pure transcendental state. The Bhagavad Gita confirms that anyone who understands the transcendental nature of the Lord appearance, activity, and disappearance become eligible for freedom from the material bondage upon quitting the present material tabernacle. 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 He can enter the spiritual kingdom to associate with the Supreme Personality Godhead and reciprocate with the Vladini potency in transaction between him and the Lord. In the mundane mode of goodness, there is a tinge of passion and ignorance. Therefore, mundane goodness being mixed is called Mishra Sattva. But the transcendental variegatedness in the Visuddha Sattva is completely free from the mundane quality. Visuddha Sattva is therefore the proper atmosphere in which to experience the personality Godhead and his transcendental pastime. Spiritual variegatedness is eternally dependent of all material condition and is non-different from the Supreme Personality Godhead, both being absolute. The Lord and his devotees simultaneously perceive the Vladini potency directly by the power of the Sambit potency. The material mode of nature control the conditioned soul, but Supreme Personality Godhead is never influenced by this mode. All the Vedic literature directly indirectly corroborate. Lord Krishna himself say in the 11th canto Srimad Bhagavatam 11.25.12 Sattvam Rajastama iti guna jivaisa naibame. The material mode of goodness, passion, and ignorance are connected with the conditioned soul, but never with me. The Supreme Personality Godhead, the Vishnu Purana confirm this as follows. Sattva dao na शांति से यत्रा न प्रकृत गुणः सा शुद्ध सर्व शुद्ध वय पूनम अद्वा prasidatu. The Supreme Personality Godhead Vishnu is beyond the three quality of goodness, passion, and ignorance. No material quality exists in him. May the original person Narayana, who is situated is completely transcendental position, be pleased with me. In the 10th canto Srimad Bhagavatam 10.27.4, Indra praised Krishna as follows. Vishuddha Sattam Tabo Dhama Shantam Tapomayam दृष्ट्वा रजस्तामसं तामसकं मायामयो यं गुणो संप्रभोभो न विद्यते ते ग्रहणानुबन्धः. My dear Lord, your Lord is Vishuddha, your abode is Vishuddha Sattva, always undistributed by the material quality, undisturbed by material quality, and the activity there are transcendental loving service unto your feet. The goodness, austerity, penance of the devotee enhance such activity, which are always free from the contamination of passion and ignorance. Material quality cannot touch you under any circumstances. When not manifested, the mode of material nature are said to be in goodness. When they are extremely manifested and active in producing the variety of the material existence, they are said to be in passion. And when there is a lack of activity and variegatedness, they are said to be in ignorance. In other words, the pensive mood is goodness, activity in passion, and inactivity is ignorance. Above all, the mundane qualitative manifestation is Vishuddha Sattva. When it is predominated by Sandhini potency, it is perceivable as the existence of all that be. When predominated by Sambit potency, it is perceived as knowledge in transcendence. And when predominated by Vladini potency, it is perceived as a most confidential love of Godhead, Visuddha Sattva. The simultaneous manifestation of these three in one in main feature of kingdom of God. The absolute truth is therefore is the substance of reality, eternally manifest in three energy. The manifestation of internal energy of the Lord is the inconceivably variegated spiritual world. The manifestation of the marginal energy comprise the living entity, and the manifestation of the external energy is the material cosmos. Therefore, the absolute truth include these four principles: the Supreme Personality Godhead Himself, His internal energy, His marginal energy, His external energy, the form of the Lord, and the expansion of His form as Swayam Rupa Vaibhava Prakasha are directly the enjoyer of the internal energy, which is the eternal exhibitor of the spiritual world, the most confidential of the manifestation of energy. The external manifestation, the material energy, provide the covering body of the conditioned living entity from Brahma down to insignificant ant. This covering energy is manifested under the three mode of material nature and appreciated in various way by the living entity in both higher and lower form of life. Each of the three division of the internal potency, the Sandhini, Samvit, and Vladini energy, influence one of the external potency by which the conditioned soul are conducted. Such influence manifests the three qualitative mode of material nature, proving the definitely that living entity the marginal potency are eternally servitor of the Lord and are therefore controlled by either in internal or the external potency. Text 63. Ladini Shambandhi Shambityoka Sarvasangasthau Ladatapakari Misrat na Guna Barjate. Ladini Shandhini Shambityoka Sarvasangasthau Ladatapakari Misrat na Guna Barjate. Guna Barjite. Hladini, the pleasure potency, Sandhini, the existence potency, and the Sambit, the knowledge potency. Tvai, in you, Eka, one. Sarva Sangasthau, who are the basis of all things. Hlada, pleasure, Tapa, the Mishra. Kari, causing. Mishra, a mixture of two. Toi, in you, no, no, who not guna varjite, who are without the three mode of material nature. O Lord, you are the support of everything. The three attribute Ladini, Sandhini, and Sambit exist in you as one spiritual energy. But the material mode which cause happiness, misery, and mixture of the two do not exist in you. For you have no material quality. For you have no material quality. Purport. This text is from Vishnu Purana 1.12.69. সন্ধিনীর সার অংশ শুদ্ধ শুদ্ধ সত্য নাম ভগবানের সত্তা হয় যাহাতে বিশ্রাম। সন্ধিনীর সার অংশ শুদ্ধ সত্য নাম ভগবানের সত্তা হয় যাহাতে বিশ্রাম। সন্ধিনীর of the existence potency sara essence, amsa, the portion, Shuddha Sattva, the Shuddha Sattva, pure existence, Nama, named, Bhagavaniri, of the Supreme Personality Godhead, Sattva, the existence, Hoyo, is, Yahate, in which, Vishrama, the resting place. The essential portion of the Sandhini potency is Suddha Sattva. The Lord Krishna's existence rests upon him. The essential portion of Sandhini potency is Suddha Sattva. Lord Krishna's existence rests upon him. মাতা পিতা স্থান গৃহ শয্যাসন আর এসব কৃষ্ণের শুদ্ধ সত্যের বিকার। মাতা পিতা স্থান গৃহ শয্যাসন আর এসব কৃষ্ণের শুদ্ধ সত্যের বিকার। মাতা মাদার, পিতা ফাদার, স্থানা প্লেস, গৃহ হাউস, griha bed and the seats, aro and a sab, all these krishna of Lord Krishna, suddha sattva of the suddha sattva vikara transformation. Krishna's mother, father, abode, house, bedding, seat, and so on are all transformation of shuddha sattva. Purport. Lord Krishna's father, mother, household affair are all displayed in the same Visuddha Sattva existence. A living entity situated in the status of pure goodness can understand the form, quality, and other feature of the Supreme Personality Godhead. Krishna consciousness began on the platform of the pure goodness. Although there is a faint realization of Krishna at first, Krishna is actually realized as Vasudeva, the absolute proprietor of omnipotence, or the prime predominating deity of all potencies. When the living entity is situated in the Visuddha Sattva, transcendental to the three material mode of nature, he can perceive the form, quality, and other feature of the Supreme Personality Godhead through his service attitude. The status of the pure goodness is the platform of understanding, for the Supreme Lord is always spiritual existence. Krishna is always all spiritual. Aside from the parents of the personality Godhead, all other paraphernalia of his existence are also essentially a manifestation of Sandhini Sakti, or the transformation of Vishuddha Sattva. To make this more clear, it may be said that the Sandhini Sakti are the internal potency manifest in the all the variegatedness of the spiritual world. In the kingdom of God, the Lord, servant, and maidservant, his consort, his father and mother, and everything else are the transformation of the spiritual existence of Sandhini Sakti. The existential Sandhini is external potency similarly expand in all variety of the material cosmos, from which we can have the glimpse of the spiritual field. Shattvang vishuddhang vasudeva sabditam yadiyate tatra puman pabrita sattve cha tasmin bhagavan vasudevo hadak ह्यदक्षजो me manasa vidhiyate. सत्वं विशुद्धं वासुदेव शब्दितं यदीयते तत्र पुमानपवृतो सत्त्वे च तस्मिन् भगवान् वासुदेवो हादक्षजो ये मे मनसा विधीयते. Sattvam existence, Vishuddham pure, Vasudeva Sabditam named Vasudeva, Yat from which Itiyate appear, Tatra in that, Puman the Supreme Personality Godhead, upper birth without any covering. Sattva in goodness, cha and tasmin that Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality Godhead, Vasudeva, he certainly. Adoksaja, who is beyond the sense, me, my, manasa, by the mind, vidhyate is procured. The condition of the pure goodness, Suddha Sattva, in which the Supreme Personality Godhead is revealed without any covering, is called Vasudeva. The condition of pure goodness, Suddha Sattva, in which the Supreme Personality Godhead is revealed without any covering, is called Vasudeva. In that pure state of the Supreme Godhead, who is beyond the material sense and who is known as Vasudeva, is perceived by my mind. The condition of the pure goodness, Suddha Sattva, in which the Supreme Personality Godhead is revealed without any covering, is called Vasudeva. In that pure state of Supreme Godhead, who is beyond the material senses and who is known as Vasudeva, is perceived by my mind. The text Srimad Bhagavatam 4.3.23 spoken by Lord Shiva when the condemned Daksha, the father of Sati, as an the opponent of Vishnu, confirmed beyond a doubt that Lord Krishna, his name, fame, and his quality and everything in connection with the paraphernalia exists, the Sandhini Sakti of the Lord internal potency. In text, this text from Srimad Bhagavatam 4.3.23 spoken by Lord Shiva when he condemned Daksha, the father of Sati, as an opponent of Vishnu, confirmed beyond a doubt that Lord Krishna, his name, fame, his quality, and everything is a connection with his paraphernalia exist in the Sandhini Sakti of the Lord internal potency. কৃষ্ণের ভগবত্তা জ্ঞান সংবিতের সার ব্রহ্ম জ্ঞানাদিক সব তার পরিবার কৃষ্ণের ভগবত্তা জ্ঞান সংবিতের সার ব্রহ্ম জ্ঞানাদিক এসব তার পরিবার Krishnere in Krishna, Bhagavatta in the quality of being original supreme personality Godhead, Jnana knowledge, Sambitar of the knowledge potency, Sara the essence, Brahma Jnana the knowledge of Brahman, Adika and so on, Sava all, Taro of that, Parivara dependent. The essence of Sambit potency is knowledge that the Supreme Personality Godhead is Lord Krishna. All other kind of knowledge, such as the knowledge of Brahman, are its component. The essence of the Sambit potency is knowledge of the Supreme Personality Godhead is Lord Krishna. All other kind of knowledge, such as the knowledge of Brahman, are its component. The activity of the Sambit Shakti produces the effect of cognition. Both the Lord and the living entity are cognizant. Sri Krishna, the Supreme Personality Godhead, has full knowledge of everything everywhere. Therefore, there is no hindrance of his cognition. He can have a knowledge merely by glancing over the object, whereas innumerable impediments block the cognition of the ordinary living being. The cognition of the living being has three divisions: direct knowledge, indirect knowledge, and the perceived knowledge. Sense perception of the material object by the mundane sense, such as the ear, eye, nose, hand, always produce definitely perverted knowledge. This illusion is a presentation of the material energy, which is influenced by the Sambit Shakti in a perverted manner. Negative cognition of an object beyond the reach of the sense perception is the way of direct knowledge, which is not altogether imperfect but which produce only fragmentary knowledge in the form of impersonal spiritual realization and monism. But when the summit factor of cognition is enlightened by Ladini potency, of the same internal energy, they work together, and only thus one can attain knowledge of personality Godhead. The Sambit Sakti should be maintained in that state. Material knowledge and indirect spiritual knowledge are byproduct of the Sambit Sakti. লাদিনীর সার প্রেম প্রেম সার ও ভাব ভাবের পরম কাষ্ঠা নাম মহাভাব লাদিনী সার প্রেম প্রেম সার ভাব এবং ভাবের পরাকাষ্ঠা নাম মহাভাব Ladinira of the pleasure potency, Sara, the essence of the prema, love for God, prema Sara, the essence of such love, bhava, emotion, bhaber of the emotion, pramana, pramana kasta, the highest limit, nama, named, mahabhava, mahabhav. Translation: the essence of the Hladini potency is love of God. The essence of love of God is the emotion, bhava, and the ultimate development of emotion is Mahabhava. The essence of Hladini potency is the love of God, and the essence of love of God is emotion or bhava. The ultimate development of emotion is Mahabhava. The product of Hladini Shakti is the love of God, which has two divisions, namely pure love of God and adulterated love of God. Only when Hladini Shakti emanates from Sri Krishna and is bestowed upon the living being to attract him does the living being become the pure lover of God. But when the same Hladini Shakti is adulterated by external material energy emanated from the living being, it does not attract Krishna. On the contrary, the living being become attracted by the glamour of the material energy. At that time, instead of becoming mad with the love of God, the living being become the mad after material sense enjoyment. And because of this association with the qualitative mode of material nature, he is captivated by the interaction with distressful, unhappy feelings. Okay. At that time, instead of becoming mad with love of Godhead, the living being become mad after material sense enjoyment. And because of the association with the qualitative mode of material nature, he is captivated by its interaction for distressful, unhappy feelings. So, Hare Krishna, today we are concluding the reading session for the day. I hope all you've understood. So, let's conclude this session by chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra together. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Vancha kalpatarubhasya kripa sindhu eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo Vishnavebhyo namo.
Have you ever really stopped to think about how a being that's totally self-sufficient, all-powerful, experiences things like joy or even existence itself? Well, today, we're diving into a really profound concept from Eastern philosophy that breaks down the divine into three core energies. We're talking about the powers of existence, knowledge, and pure, unadulterated bliss. Let's jump right in. So it all kicks off with this amazing paradox. You know, if a divine being is completely whole, needing absolutely nothing from the outside, then how does that being experience something like pleasure? I mean, where does that feeling even come from? It's a real head-scratcher, and it's the central question we're going to unpack today. And boom, the source material gives us a huge clue right off the bat. It points to a very specific spiritual energy called Hladini. Now, you can think of this as the pleasure potency. It's a divine energy whose whole job, its entire purpose, is to generate bliss. This one concept, this is the key to unlocking that whole paradox. But, and this is where it gets even more fascinating, this pleasure potency, this Hladini, it doesn't just exist in a vacuum. The source explains that it's actually just one of three different functions, and they all spring from a single unified spiritual energy. Okay, this slide just lays it out so perfectly. The divine nature is often described with three core qualities. You've got Sat, which is eternity, Sat, which is knowledge, and Ananda, which is bliss. Now look at how each of these qualities has its very own energy, its own potency. Sat gives us Sandhini, the energy of existence itself. Sat becomes Samvit, the energy of knowledge, and Ananda becomes Hladini, the energy of bliss that got us started. So you see, three distinct functions, all coming from one single source. So let's break these down, starting with that first one, Santini. This is the bedrock, you could say. It's the very fabric of spiritual existence. Basically, it's the energy that not only lets the supreme being exist, but it's also the very stuff that makes up and holds together the entire spiritual world. All the places, the people, the objects, everything. And here, you can see how this isn't just some abstract theory. Sandhini is the literal spiritual substance that forms everything you see in that realm. I mean, look at this list. This one energy becomes Krishna's parents, his home, his furniture. It's all just a manifestation of pure existence. Pretty amazing. All right, next up, we have the second potency, Samvet, which is the energy of knowing. This one is fascinating because it's like a two-way street. On the one hand, it's the power the divine uses to know itself. But on the other hand, it's the very same energy that flows outward and allows others, like us, to gain knowledge of the divine. It's the power of consciousness itself. And the text is really clear about this. While Samvit is the energy behind all kinds of knowing, its highest, purest function is the knowledge of the divine. You could say all other knowledge, intellectual, philosophical, you name it, is really just a stepping stone to this ultimate personal understanding. And that brings us to the third and final potency, Hladini, which, you guessed it, takes us right back to our original question. So here it is. This is the energy of bliss. This is the power that allows the Supreme Being to experience joy. And just like the energy of knowledge, it's reciprocal. It also flows outward, allowing devotees to share in that very same divine bliss. So, we've come full circle. This quote, which we saw at the beginning, now has so much more weight, right? The Hladini energy isn't just for God's personal enjoyment. It's this dynamic, shared energy. It gives bliss directly to Krishna, and at the same time, it flows out to nourish everyone who is connected to that bliss. Okay, so now that we've got this beautiful, perfect internal system, the obvious question is, how does any of this relate to our world? Well, the sources draw a really sharp contrast between this pure spiritual energy and how it gets reflected in our material experience. This chart just makes the difference crystal clear. On the left, you've got that pure bliss energy. It flows from the divine to attract us to the divine. And the result? Something the text calls being mad with love of Godhead. But then look at the right side. That's its reflection in our world. Here, that same energy is distorted, and it attracts us to temporary sense pleasure instead. The outcomes couldn't be more different. Divine love versus material attachment. And this final comparison really just summarizes the two realities perfectly. The internal, spiritual energy is one unified whole. It exists on a platform of what's called Vishuddha Sattva, or pure goodness. But in contrast, the external, material energy is chopped up into three distinct and often clashing modes: goodness, passion, and ignorance. And that mixture is what creates our mixed bag of happiness and distress. So the text leaves us with this really powerful final thought. It describes every one of us as a marginal energy. We're standing, in a way, right on the border between the spiritual and material worlds, and we can be pulled in either direction. So the real question isn't if we're being influenced by an energy, but which one. Is your consciousness being guided by that unified, blissful spiritual potency, or by the divided, temporary material one? It's definitely something to think about.